Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, July 7th. This is Gina Palma. Today we will continue to see gusty winds with decreasing relative humidity over western and northwest Nevada, and thunderstorms continuing across Utah and then expanding further west today. This morning we've already had lightning over parts of the Arizona Strip, southwest Utah, and far southern Nevada, and again we will expect that lightning to expand again with a mix of wet and dry storms in the yellow and drier storms, although a little bit more isolated, in areas in the red today. On Sunday, we'll continue with the gusty winds and low humidity in the west, and we will see those thunderstorms push further north up into parts of northeast Nevada and northwest Utah. We may even see some thunderstorms up into Idaho. Over southern areas, we'll see the transition to wetter type storms and a mix of wet and dry further north with the best chance for dry lightning over eastern Nevada into western Utah. On Monday, those thunderstorms expand even further north up into Idaho and Wyoming, and again will be a mix of wet and dry or dry storms on the western and northern side. Looking at the last 24 hours, we did have scattered thunderstorms over the higher terrain of Utah and over eastern Utah yesterday, and we have seen early this morning these lightning strikes in the orange and red and yellow were from this morning over southwest Utah, the Arizona Strip, and far southern Nevada. These thunderstorms mostly produced light amounts of precipitation less than 1/10 of an inch. There were a couple reports near 1/10 of an inch or 15/100ths of an inch, but again, most areas did not see very much precipitation. We also had a band of light precipitation over far northwest Nevada, but no lightning as a front moved into the Pacific Northwest. Yesterday, Great Basin fire activity was light initial attack reported. However, we had significant growth on our larger fires. Over the last 7 days, we've seen very dry conditions across the Great Basin, with the exception of parts of Idaho and Wyoming. And then again, even over the last 30 days, we saw well below normal to no precipitation over much of the southern 2/3 of the region. How this has affected our fuel conditions, we are seeing less purple dots on the map across Utah, and those are near and above the 97th percentile. So as those thunderstorms work its way north, and we do see some increasing humidity and moisture, we are seeing those ERCs come down, but still at very critical levels. However, over eastern Nevada, we are continuing to see those ERCs increase due to the dry and warm weather, and we're now solidly above the 90th percentile. And even areas in southern Idaho and northern and western Nevada are now above the 70th percentile. Again, still, the significant grass crop over western and northern Nevada will contribute to our large fire spread, and we do have fuels and fire behavior advisories in effect for all of Utah and parts of northern and western Nevada. Looking at our ERC charts, once again, the ERCs over Utah have started to come down, but are still trending near record highs for the time of year. Even over eastern Nevada, looking at 100-hour fuel moisture, the image on the bottom right shows that 100-hour fuel moisture are at record lows or near record lows over much of eastern and northeast Nevada. The satellite loop from this morning shows again still strong high pressure dominating the Four Corners area with that monsoon moisture rotating around that high. We are seeing clouds and some thunderstorms this morning over parts of southwest Utah into southern Nevada. However, it also brought increased cloud cover. We will see clearing skies over the rest of the northern half of the Great Basin, and those thunderstorms redevelop this afternoon across Utah into eastern Nevada. And looking at our weather pattern for later today, again, you can see the areas in the green where those thunderstorms will redevelop, along with our high risk today for lightning over really the eastern half of the Great Basin. We will continue to see those gusty winds and dry conditions affect western areas of Nevada, and we have high risk for that both today and tomorrow. A better look at our weather for later this afternoon, you can see where those thunderstorms will be most concentrated. Again, mainly dry storms, especially on our western side, and a mix of wet and dry elsewhere. You may see a couple cells develop in the central Sierra, but for the most part, western areas will remain dry. Gusty winds are indicated on the image on the right, again near 30 or just above 30 miles per hour over much of the Sierra front into northwest Nevada with low relative humidity. As we move into Sunday, you can see the moisture, how it pushes north up into northeast Nevada and northwest Utah. So our high risk have highlighted areas further north on Sunday as well. Also, we continue to highlight eastern Nevada into parts of the northern half of Utah, as these thunderstorms will still be either dry or a mix of wet and dry. Gusty winds and dry conditions also continue on Sunday over western Nevada. You can see the image on the left where those thunderstorms are expected, again pushing further north into northeast Nevada, even back into central Nevada, and also into parts of eastern Idaho while continuing across Utah and the Arizona Strip. Again, gusty winds very similar to today over western Nevada with low relative humidity. On Monday, we have thunderstorms in really about the same general areas as we will on Sunday. So we have continued that high risk for parts of northeast Nevada into northwest Utah, but areas further south will likely be transitioning to wetter type storms. So on Monday, you can see the weather picture. Again, it's this northern and western side that we'd be most concerned with by Monday with drier lightning. We will continue to watch Idaho as thunderstorms will move up into Idaho and be either on the dry side or a mix of wet and dry. So we'll be watching the fuels in that area. On Monday, still breezy winds over western Nevada, however, not quite as gusty as what we'll see over the next 2 days. Looking at the 3-day forecast amount of precipitation, a lot of this precipitation really starts to increase later this weekend into Monday, especially across Utah and the Arizona Strip, where we'll see better chances of wetting rains. Further west and north, any precipitation will likely be a little bit more spotty and not as widespread. As we move into Tuesday next week, thunderstorms still in many of the same areas that we'll see over the next few days. The eastern and southern half of Nevada into Utah and the Arizona Strip, still possibly some storms into Idaho. We will be watching this very dry air mass that's pushing into northwest Nevada and into Idaho, and this will rapidly dry out the fuels even further as we go through Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We have no high risk on Tuesday yet. We will be watching western areas of Nevada as thunderstorms push back north into those areas, but that push may not occur until Wednesday. So on Wednesday, you can see a little bit more moisture across the southern half of the Great Basin, pushing into western Nevada. We will continue to watch that for the potential of high risk, and also that very dry air pushing eastward across Idaho. On Thursday, those thunderstorms push north, really across all of Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip, with still that very dry air in place across Idaho. And then as we move into Friday, that drier air pushes to the east and those thunderstorms move into southwest Idaho. So as we go through next week, we will see moistening of the fuels with continued lightning over southern areas, but Idaho and parts of northwest Nevada, fuels will be becoming more critical each day, and the return of thunderstorms later next week may be significant for those areas. Forecast amount of precipitation, obviously the heaviest wetting rains, where we'll continue to see thunderstorms with increasing moisture across the Arizona Strip and Utah, and then eventually back into southern and eastern Nevada, with still not much precipitation with these storms as they move into northern regions. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us into the third week in July, above normal temperatures and still that above normal precipitation over the southern half of Nevada and Utah. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.